Hi, my name is Heather Schaefer, and I'll be giving a presentation on using wikis in an elementary classroom. Through my research this week, I've noticed that wikis are a lot more prominent in secondary classrooms, middle schools, not so much in elementary classrooms. So through this presentation, I'm going to teach you a lot of different ways that you can use them with the younger population. So to start off with, what is a wiki? A wiki, when a lot of people hear, they automatically think of Wikipedia. Wiki is not just Wikipedia. Wiki, there's a whole slew of sites that you can use to create a wiki. A wiki, according to Google Dictionary, is a website developed collaboratively by a community of users, allowing any user to add and edit content. So what other websites can you use in order to create a wiki that are free? Google has a Google Wiki. I found something called TWiki or Twiki. There's something called WikiSite. PB Wiki, which is now referred to as PB Works. That's a website that a lot of the teachers at the college I attend use. And Wiki Spaces, which is a great free site that a lot of the examples I'll show you were made using. So the most common way elementary level teachers use Wiki is as a classroom website. Here they might have an introductory page introducing themselves and the classroom and expectations for that year. They may have a news section, a scrapbook, maybe show some pictures of students. It's less common, but they're a good idea is to have a space where you can communicate with parents, offer them access to the wiki, let them ask you questions and you can give answers, or if they ask a question another parent already knows the answer, that parent can answer, and it winds up lowering the number of times that you actually need to call and email and all that. You can post homework assignments and study materials that with the older elementary, fourth, fifth, and sixth, they can go on and get it themselves. And the younger ones, their parents can get it for them. Parents can work with them. A class and school calendar, so the parents are aware of different events that are taking place. A lot of schools send home a paper copy, which can easily be lost. If it's located on the wiki, it's much easier for them to find. A class schedule, more of the daily routine. This is great for parents to know when the students have gym or art, they know what to bring the child dressed as. Class rules, which is great to put up right in the beginning, that show what the expectations are in your classroom, so there's no discrepancies. A supply list, which is the mandatory materials, and also a wish list. It's a less intrusive way of asking parents for help, but say you ran out of tissues for the classroom and every student has already brought in a box. It's a way of letting the parents at home know that you need extra tissues, you need extra crayons, and anything they send in would be greatly appreciated without actually having to call and ask them. So one example of a classroom web page using Wiki Spaces. This is an example. It's a second grade class. So here she has the classroom announcements here. Please be sure to check your child homework. What's going on in our classroom? Shows the parents what the students are working at that given time. Homework assignments, a class schedule. So here you would see when they have different, like what time they have, PE, library. It gives them what you're doing every time of the day, morning routine, writing, on court, all that, dismissal, cleanup, so you know what your child's doing throughout the day. Here she has a classroom wish list. Let's see if anything's on it. More books, dry erase markers, board games, things that you wouldn't necessarily call and ask for, but if anyone has some extras lying around, then they can offer to. Frequently asked questions. What's my child allowed to have a water bottle? Do you need help in the classroom? Just some questions that are really commonly asked. And the teacher. So this is, just an introduction to her, where she was born. It gives a more personal touch to so the parents know all about you. So let's go back to here. So students using wikis. So classroom webpage, that's great. It's a great way to communicate with parents. But really, wikis can be used with any age student, even as young as first grade, because the population of student now is really a lot more tech savvy. But before you start, you need to explain the purpose of the wiki. You need to make sure students know it's not just a social use, it's really for work, and it's only for their best work. You need to model how to edit the wiki. Students don't know how to do something that have never been shown to them, so you need to show them how to do it. You should present or develop a list of class rules in using the wiki. I would suggest having students help you create the rules. They're a lot more likely to follow rules that they've helped to create. So some ideas for using wikis, whether you have one big page and have different sections, or you can make different pages for each activity. So choose your own adventure story. It gives you offer a story starter and allows students to finish the story any way they would like. They can go back and comment on other students' stories, and you can pull it up on a smartboard at the end of the activity and see what the many different ways the story was presented. Book reviews. This is a great way for students to discuss about the books that they're reading outside of the classroom. They can offer a summary, explain what they like and don't like, whether or not they think their classmates should read it. You can have a math page where you post tricky math problems that the students can work together to solve, or you can have students create their own math problems based on the unit that you're working with currently or the unit you just finished, and have their peers try to solve it. Here's an example of another second grade wiki, but this is one that students participate in. So after you model how to edit the page, it's nice she has a reminder here of how to edit, explaining to save, make sure they click save. Wiki rules. Clearly the class had a say in the rules. You can see they all kind of posted a rule that they liked. No bad words, don't go on without permission, have fun. This is for our class. Let's see. So now some activities. So writing a story. Here's the way to finish a story. So she wrote, "Oh, what fun it is to," and they had to finish. Some students wrote one sentence, some students wrote a few sentences. Obviously, with the older students, you'd want them to write more. She has some poetry on here that they've written that they would like to share. They wrote magic spells that they're sharing. Here you see there's some About Me posts. That would be a great introduction both to learning about your students and also to have them learn how to use the class wiki if you have them all write just an introduction about themselves. Another thing, the book chat. This is like the book reviews I discussed. You put a picture of the book they're reading. They can offer a summary. This person wrote, "I just finished the book, Family Under the Bridge. It's about a person that doesn't have a house and a family lives under a bridge and they give things to people. I think it's a good book and you should read it." So they can, suggest books to their classmates or say that they didn't like a book and tell their classmates they don't think they should read it. Here's her math page. Up here, they're not loaded yet, but she made videos that shows what the second graders had learned so far. Down here it says, to solve our subtraction number stories. They were working with subtraction word problems. They created their own word problems. Down here I'll show you a great example of how you can, write a comment to one of your students. This little boy wrote, "Cole had 81 cats and Ryan had 11 cats. What is the answer?" Clearly that's not asking a question that is good for a word problem, so she wrote a note to him, "What is your question, Cole? You need to word it a different way so that the reader knows how to solve the problem." Down here you can see he saw her comment and changed it. So how many cookies did they have altogether? So let's go back to the presentation. So another way for students to use wikis, another form of a presentation. There's a lot of Web 2.0 tools out there. This is just another version. Instead of having them make a regular paper poster board or writing an essay and doing an oral presentation, have them create a wiki. They can collaborate to make a reference book. So if you're exploring a topic in social studies, science, anything, they can collaboratively create a reference book, or collaborate on a class encyclopedia or glossary that they would work on throughout the entire year, where they can continue to add pages about the different topics they're learning about and add vocabulary words that they're learning. So here's an example of a more topic-specific wiki created by a third grade class. So for this, the entire class worked together and they explored the westward expansion along the Oregon Trail. So you can see, you can also include, they created the timelines using a different internet tool, and they were able to upload them onto here. Students had different subjects that so you can see who did what. He created a graphic organizer and was able to upload it. Some fun facts. You can have some fun facts on here. They can upload images from the computer, images they created themselves. So there's a more content specific, I guess that could be considered a reference book with all the different branches off the one topic. Virtual field trips, that's also a great idea for using wikis in your classroom. Especially nowadays, there's a lot of budget cuts with field trips, so allow your students to go on a field trip without having to spend the money. This elementary teacher created a virtual field trip about wildlife, sea animals. So you have the students, you put the websites that you already know are okay for them to use, you offer the websites, videos, and then you pose questions. So you see she has some questions here. So after they explore, you can give them, you'll need to visit exactly what sites they need to visit. Have them explore the different websites that you offer, and then they are to answer the questions. You can either have them use a different Web 2.0 tool to answer the questions, or create just another page over here where they can put their responses on the wiki. For older students, you can even just offer a topic and have them go off and explore it on their own. So other suggestions, peer review. You can allow students to write their papers on the wiki and have others comment on it. Student portfolios, you have one class wiki. Off to the side, you have each student has their own page where they can upload their work that they have throughout the year for everyone to see. Have a multi-author story. You can decide on a topic and what you want to write about, and then have each student maybe write a paragraph. One student works on it one night, the next next student writes the preceding paragraph. Another option, literature circles, which are gaining a lot of interest in the elementary schools these days. Here's an example of a literature circle wiki using an older, higher level book, but it's a great example of a final project for literature circles. So you can see they have they have different spots. They have one where they talk about the characters. They upload a different thing. What's really great about this one is they have the planning page, which I thought was very interesting. So they plan out who's doing what. They write comments to each other along the way. Let's see, I'm going to show you the other literature circle page. So this literature circle page follows the more traditional way of managing literature circles, where the book is divided into sections, and each time you have a section, the student has a different role. So one of the roles being the discussion director. So here they had two groups, the Wind Clan and the Star Clan. So what they did is, you can see the progression. So for this week, Adit was the discussion director. Those are the questions that they posted. And then you had Hankyo and Caitlin. So you can see the progression. This also shows you progression in their work. So as a teacher, you can monitor and make sure that they're on track. They had other sections, the discussion director, as well as they had, I believe, the event connector. So you can see here what the students did. The same thing, it's divided page 3 through 45 she did. And then obviously she had 45 through 90 something. So you can see the progression. So that's another great way, and young students can do that. So besides having your students use wikis in the classroom as assignments, it also would be a great idea to have a wiki that the other teachers in your content area or other teachers in your grade can collaborate together, post ideas, lessons, things that worked, things that didn't work, so you can communicate together, and it's a great way to be able to have that without having to have a formal meeting and make people stay after school. So I hope that you've learned a lot about being able to use Wiki in your elementary level classroom, and that you will start using them. Thank you.